to
Any other public comment?
public comments. Any other public comments?
Will some of Kelly Wooster's constituents be able to get you a meeting like you just had out there?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Got a point.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know, when the meeting is in order, I mean, the meeting is still going on and you're going outside talking to
You want to come up to the mic? You wanna- All right. So are you making public comments?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think it was right for the chairman to go outside where there's no public monitoring and meet with a group, no matter what the group is. I don't care if it's the oil industry, Hispanic individuals, cannabis, you name it. It's not right to have a private meeting like that. I don't know if it's illegal, if it's even legal, while there is a meeting in order. So.
Actually, we were on break, and during the break, I went outside
Okay, and then
and I talked to public people.
okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
It looks.
you could have came out and had that discussion with me. That would have been your right.
Doesn't look right. The meeting was still in order.
Okay. The meeting is in order now. So, should we move on to supervisor announcements?
On the 24th, I attended a California Transportation Commission hearing with a group of delegates to state our cause to get the best we can out of the STIP grants for the Wagon Trail project. Really didn't have to say anything other than my presence there along with the rest of the delegate committee. But did have an effect. It seemed like we were well received in what was a mildly contentious environment, I guess.
5 minutes.
Yeah, so it was worth the drive. I have been meeting with Common Ground seniors to trying to improve the services our seniors receive in Calaveras County. It's become a passion of mine. There are some things that I'll hope to continue to share. But, ran from that meeting to a CCWD meeting and sat and listened to a presentation from Foothill Recreation and Parks. I was glad I was able to jump over there for that. Last yesterday, actually, at 7 p.m., I went to the Calaveras Consolidated Fire Board meeting. So I was glad I was there. And that's all I have to report.
Started out, I'm reporting from last week also. I attended the CSAC Administration of Justice Committee meeting by telephone on the 21st before our 22nd meeting. Also attended the White Pines Park Committee meeting. There's been some development on what's going to be happening up there. I understand they may be rethinking their gazebo project. Attended on Friday the luncheon for Frank Bigelow. Interesting luncheon. It dealt with the bark beetle problem and what's going on in Tuolumne County and the surrounding counties. And there were some issues that Mr. Bigelow addressed. He has some concerns what's happening in Sacramento as far as getting things done right away. But he was able to give us some updated information on where we stand in certain areas and what the question marks were. He wasn't real specific on what was going to be done about that. I did attend the Central Sierra Child Support Agency committee meeting on yesterday. We did have, after our meeting with Supervisor Ponte, we did have about a two and a half hour training session, orientation for board members on the works and how the system works and how the agency works. And it was very informative. I'm glad we had that. That'll be a continuing educational period the next few meetings. I'm going to be attending the lot cleaners meeting up in Arnold with CAL FIRE and with the Evans Pass Fire Department. This is an annual meeting where they hold, and for all the lot cleaners, making sure they're contracted, making sure they're licensed to the county with business licenses. It's a chance to exchange information, because it's a big question mark what we're going to do with our pine needles. We do have some solutions for that. Some are good, some are bad, and depending on who's looking at it. I did make contact, a follow-up contact. About a week, 10 days ago, Supervisor Kearney and I had the opportunity with Public Works Director Jeff Kravis to view a new mulching system in Sonora. And that turned out to be a very promising thing. The operators of the mulching system expressed a desire to actually try to come over to Calaveras County. They inquired onto where there might be some county property available for lease, and we were able to actually, working with Brian Moss in the administrative office, they took a look at some property that we have up there, and they want to sit down and talk to us about it. So that's good. We did cover that project briefly with Public Works Krovitz and Director Krovitz, and it's a daylight thing. There's daylight in it to make it work. So we're moving forward in that. I wish we could move a lot quicker with our dead tree problems, our mortality problems. Today I did arrange another helicopter tour with PG&E. We're going to be flying out of Columbia and looking at Highway 4 corridor all the way up to Alpine County. We're going to measure the dead tree population, take a visual look on it, and see what we got in front of us. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I continue to attend the Calaveras Recovers meetings on Thursday afternoons here in San Andreas at 3 o'clock. The group continues to work on case management and seeing who qualifies, and working with various volunteer organizations and church organizations on rebuilding. Pretty exciting to get to this point, to get real serious about who's going to be able to rebuild as we have more lots cleaned and cleared and that sort of thing. And Calaveras Recovers also has office space up in the Mountain Ranch Park. Took some opportunities to go up there and see that operation and the people that they're meeting with, and they have helping people with some immediate needs and then looking at long-term needs. But it's a great group of volunteers working on that. And as it was mentioned earlier today, it's certainly a long-term recovery project and not short-term, but doing some good work there. Attended the in-home health services board meeting, advisory committee meeting this past Monday. We have an opening that'll come before the board at the April meeting. We have one more member to appoint from the general public. And I understand we have an application, and we may have a few more coming. The IHSS committee, they'll be making a written report to the board, and we see that happening in April. They want to keep the board informed of their progress and the projects that they're working on. With Steve, I attended the CTC hearing. Although we couldn't speak, they were very structured in their presentation of counties. I think having our presence, and there were 5 of us there, that was very helpful in trying to secure our $1.4 million in funding that we need on this $30 million plus project. Attended the Child Support Agency with Supervisor Oliveira on Monday and had a board orientation. Was very impressed how this JPA has come together and represents the 4 counties. It's somewhat of a rare JPA in the bigger picture of child support agencies in California, and have a wonderful executive director who does a very good job keeping that agency going. And in most of their work, they are often noted in the top 10 of producers, you might say, in regards to collections and paternity and things along that line. Have an EMS meeting in Copperopolis at 9 o'clock on April 13th. And I do want to note on our agendas, we have upcoming items in a tentative schedule. And I know we put those items on there earlier this year. Late last year, the Butte Fire kind of put things on hold, but I would like us to take a look at some of those items. They've been on there for a while, and see where we are with staff and maybe coming to the board and making those presentations. And the other thing that would be helpful too is perhaps noting when our budget meetings are coming up. That's always something that I know our community likes to be aware of and follow. So it might be helpful to include those meeting dates on there as well. That's all I have.
Okay. I'll make it short and sweet. On the 23rd, I went to CCWD's board meeting and helped with the presentation of the regional park that Valley Springs wants to build. CCWD has 51 acres that they want to use for a spray field, or at least part of it. But the park could help them use a greater portion of it for a spray field, and also could provide some relief for the Cosgrove Creek area with flood control basins. So they seemed receptive, and now they're going to have to go and amend their general plan, or work on their general plan to complete it with that included. And I think that, so the next step for us is to start a business plan to see how that's going to work out, and see if we can't find out from county what's going to be the requirements and that sort of thing. So we'll put together the committees to do that. On the 28th, I went and met with CAL FIRE Chief Nick Koski. That was yesterday. And they have their fire plan, fire prevention plan, 600 and something odd pages that they so graciously gave me so that I can read it, and we can have input into that, which I thought was real. I wasn't aware of it before, but I'm really happy to be able to put input, have some input into that on many things, including projects that we can do for vegetation removal in the areas that we need to, and also even put in some of the watershed management stuff that I've been talking about for the past couple of years for revegetation in a much more safer way for the future. So I'm looking forward to getting into that and seeing if we can provide input on that. So other than that, that's it. Oh, we have a special meeting, another special meeting, folks, on Tuesday, April 5th. To support SB 1118, and we can add AB 2314 on that as well. And Brian will explain why.
Yes, I had drafted up resolutions in support of both the Senate and Assembly bills, as well as letters of support. And actually, I transmitted those electronically to our senator and assemblyman yesterday, just to make sure that we were hitting the mark. And I got a return email today from Brent Finkel with Senator Berryhill's office saying, well, we really need that letter of support if you want to do that by the 5th. And I said, well, gee, that's rather inconvenient since we have this agendized for the 12th. So I would say to the board that this isn't something that you absolutely have to do, but I would highly recommend it. And I think every bit of support that we show towards those bills on our behalf is a good thing. So both the letters and both resolutions are already done, but there was no way to get them to the board at this late date. When I found out this afternoon, we would have had it taken care of, but we're just, like I say, just informed this afternoon that they needed it by the 5th. So I apologize for that, but again, I think it's worth the time. It doesn't need to take a lot of time. The Assembly bill, we have time on, but since I had both of those on the 12th, agendized for the 12th, I figured we could just, if you're going to meet and take the time to do it, actually approve both letters and both resolutions supporting both houses.
Question,
So I'll leave it up to you guys.
yeah, would we be having a special meeting at 9 or 10?
That is really the board's prerogative.
Okay.
If we can do 9, I have another meeting at noon,
Okay,
so
9 sounds great. We can do 9 o'clock,
earlier
and,
the better.
and I'm just looking for a quorum.
I'm okay with 9.
Okay, Mike?
Tell you in 2 seconds here. On the 5th, yeah, I'll cancel, I have a cancel. I can cancel a meeting. If you need a quorum, I can make it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Really appreciate it. I think this is important.
Okay. That's Tuesday the 5th, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so we will meet then for a special meeting on Tuesday, April 5th to support SB 1118 and 231, AB 2314. Okay?
Thank you.
Should
And
be a
that's,
fairly quick meeting.
and that is 2 more items off of your agenda for the 12th.
That would be good. All right. Any other comments from anybody?
I just want to make one real quick comment. Take a look around the campus. We actually are getting our buildings and grounds people out to clean up the property a little bit, which is nice. And we also had 4 hazard trees removed on the front lawn this last weekend. Okay? Unfortunately, I looked across the road, and actually Diane looked across the road. She said, "What about that tree?" Which looked fine apparently 2 weeks ago, but is apparently on its way out as well. So we'll have to go back and get that cedar removed as well. But just to let you know that you know, we are trying to catch up on that with our post-fire efforts.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I will
noticed
have to
that.
let
I
my
was here-
constituents know that asked me about that.
Yeah.
They're
I was-
gone.
I was here when they were removing the trees and also cleaning it up, and I want to thank you for replacing the flags also.
Is the landscaping cleanup being done by the jail inmates, or?
Oh, well, actually, there's a couple things going on here. And this is something that Diane is thinking about and doing with the Spirit Committee. So we had somebody volunteer and do some really wonderful work outside of the administrative office over this weekend. And we'd like to probably use that as a poster child, if you will, for departments maybe to adopt part of the grounds.
Very good, very nice.
Great. Is that it? Any public comments? Meeting adjourned.